Greetings, we'll cover a few details about Leslie Groves and his life in a succinct manner. Here is a short rundown of his early years, education, career, persona, later years, accolades, and demise. United States Army Corps of Engineers, Commander Lieutenant General Leslie Richard Groves Jr. oversaw the Pentagon's construction and was in charge of the Manhattan Project, a top-secret research initiative that produced the atomic bomb during World War II. Also known as Lieutenant General Leslie Richard Groves Jr., famous as United States Army officer, in charge of the construction of the Pentagon and director of the Manhattan Project. Born August 17, 1896, Albany, New York, United States. Died July 13, 1970, Washington, D.C., United States. Father, Leslie Richard Groves Sr. Mother, Gwen Nay Griffith. Siblings, Alan Groves. Spouse, Grace Wilson. Children, Richard Hulbert Groves, Gwen Groves. Education, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, University of Washington, United States Military Academy, U.S. Army War College, Command and General Staff College. In Albany, New York, on August 17, 1896, Leslie Groves was born. Leslie Richard Groves, his father, was a minister who spent the majority of his life in the Army. Groves' mother was Gwen Griffith. The third of 4 kids, Groves Jr. He spent his childhood moving around the nation, because of his father's military duty. Although not present for his children, Leslie Jr.'s father had a significant impact on them. He frequently wrote them letters urging them to learn from their mistakes and to be bold, strong, and honest. Leslie Jr. developed an interest in enlisting in the military, while still a youngster. In June 1914, after completing high school, he attempted to enroll in the United States Military Academy through a presidential nomination, but fell short of the requisite grade. As a result, he decided to enroll in the Massachusetts Institute of Technology's Civil Engineering Department. He tried again in 1916, and this time, he was accepted into the United States Military Academy. The First World War caused his class's graduation to occur earlier. Groves received an engineering commission. At Camp Gordon, Georgia, he was deployed to the 7th Engineer Regiment and given command of Company B. Leslie Groves was assigned to various engineering tasks across the nation for the ensuing 20 years. He also attended the Army War College, Command and General Staff School, and the Engineer School at this time, since doing so would prepare him for leadership positions. Groves received a promotion to major on July 1, 1940. The Manhattan Project, also known as the development of the atomic bomb, was assigned to the Army Corps of Engineers in 1942. Groves received a promotion to Brigadier General, and was appointed to lead it. Groves decided to designate the 5th level of the new War Department building as the organization's headquarters. Additionally, he visited with physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer, and talked with him about setting up a facility where the bomb could be developed. His duties increased as time went on. He oversaw the building of the factories and plants that would be utilized to produce the essential components of the bombs. He also picked the team that would study, design, and build the bomb. Although some of the scientists weren't fans of his approaches or emphasis on security, Groves and Oppenheimer's partnership finally paid off. Soon after, preparations for the bomb's use began. A number of B-29 airplanes were specially modified by Leslie Groves to carry the 5-ton atomic bombs. The attacks on Hiroshima and Nagasaki were also planned, targeted, and timed by him. Groves received the Distinguished Service Medal after the bombings were made public knowledge. Groves made the decision to leave the service as a result. He retired on February 29, 1948. He received a promotion to Lieutenant General just before retiring. Later in life, he worked as the Vice President of Sperry Rand, an electronics and equipment company. He also penned the 1962 book, Now It Can Be Told, which provided a history of the Manhattan Project. Grace Wilson was the wife of Leslie Groves. They exchanged vows at Seattle's St. Clement's Episcopal Church on February 10, 1922. Richard Hulbert, a son, and Gwen, a daughter, were their 2 children. Groves later rose to the position of vice president of the equipment and electronics company Sperry Rand, relocated to Darien, Connecticut, in 1948, and took his retirement at the age of 65, in 1961. Additionally, he presided over the Association of Graduates, a West Point alumni group. In 1962, when General of the Army Douglas MacArthur gave his renowned duty, honor, and country speech to the Corps of Cadets at the U.S. Military Academy, he gave MacArthur the Sylvanus Thayer Award. In his retirement, Groves penned the 1962 book, Now It Can Be Told, A History of the Manhattan Project. He returned to Washington, D.C., in 1964. Army Distinguished Service Medal, Legionnaire of Legion of Merit, Legion of Merit, Order of the Crown, Belgium, Companion of the Order of the Bath. Groves is honored at a park with his name along the Columbia River in Richland, Washington, not far from the Hanford site. Eric Owens portrayed Groves in the Lyric Opera of Chicago production of Dr. Atomic in 2007. In the days leading up to the Trinity test, the opera follows Oppenheimer, Groves, Teller, and other characters. In the 1989 movie, Fat Man and Little Boy, Paul Newman played Groves. The role of Groves in Christopher Nolan's upcoming 2023 film Oppenheimer will be performed by Matt Damon. On July 13, 1970, Groves experienced a heart attack, brought on by the aortic valve's ongoing calcification. At the age of 73, he passed away that evening, after being taken to Walter Reed Army Medical Center, in Washington. Groves was buried next to his brother Alan, who had passed away from pneumonia in 1916, in the Arlington National Cemetery following a burial service that was held in the chapel at Fort Myer, Virginia.